LAFC raids Europe for a striker again. Dave Roberts wonders how he can change the Dodger lineup for the better, and Matthew Stafford will return to practice, or at least practice adjacent. Good morning. I'm James, and this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. And yes, once again, broadcasting from a weird location. It is August 4th, 2025. The week's still gotten off to a good start. We added new subscribers to the Angeleno Familia. Thank you. Well, we're going to do our best to keep you informed. By the time you see this clip, I'm going to be heading home anyway. Totally looking forward to it. Do you like being in the know about LA sports? Well, if you do, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a quick look at the scoreboard. Dodgers 3, Tampon Bay 0. The Dodger magic number is now 48. Meanwhile, Cruz Azul tied the Galaxy 1-1 in Leagues Cup, but Cruz Azul gets the win in penalty kicks 8-7. Meanwhile, today, St. Louis is in town. They're going to play the Dodgers at 7. So what do you say we get to the news? It seemed as if LAFC this season was slip-sliding away into the inevitable abyss of the mid, which is exactly what MLS wants. Let's be real. They do not want dynasties in MLS anymore. They just want to make sure everybody has a chance. Oh, it's kind of just like AYSO when you're kids. Everybody plays. Everybody's a winner. Nobody believes that. But that's the way they want it to be seen. Look at LAFC this year. The manager doesn't want to stay after this season. LAFC was clearly not equipped to take advantage of their surprise placement in the FIFA World Cup. And to be frank, it looked like they've been sleeping through the first 2 matches of Leagues Cup. But Sunday, the black and gold sent a lightning bolt across MLS. No, they will not go that easily into the good night of mid. Son Heung-min, one of the biggest offensive threats in the Premier League across the entire last decade, is coming to LA. He has agreed to transfer to Southland from Tottenham Hotspur. So much so that he didn't even travel back to England with Tottenham after Spurs played an exhibition match with Newcastle in his native country in South Korea. That's how hype he is to come to LA. Now, to be fair, it's not exactly a shock move, because over the last few days, even if you've read the newspapers, this seemed like a bit of a fait accompli. But the numbers and the impact that's involved could damn certainly be shocking. LAFC, for example, ponied up a $17 million transfer fee for this deal. And that's just the money that went to the Spurs. That doesn't count what they're actually going to pay the player. Now, there are different amounts that have been reported as to what Son will earn while he's in LA. Now, the largest transfer in MLS history, transfer fee plus salary, goes to Emmanuel Latte Loth of Atlanta United. The total for that is $22 million. So there's a pretty good chance that Son is going to eclipse that. See what I did there? And Son is 33. So let's be honest with ourselves. At that age in soccer, there is some risk involved. I have to be shown some proof that this guy is going to be LAFC's version of Lionel Messi, because their previous attempts at big game hunting from Europe have brought mixed results, particularly at the attacking end. Gareth Bale scored critical goals in LAFC's march to its only MLS Cup, but his goals came off the bench. So it wasn't like he was just dominating from start to finish. Then they go out and they get Olivier Giroud. They had the guy spend an entire calendar year in black and gold, and he absolutely flamed out. Now, what Son brings to the table is 173 goals in 454 matches for Spurs. double figures in goals for 9 consecutive seasons overseas. So the expectations are going to be through the roof to double that. And yes, LAFC is obviously expected to recoup some of the cash in merch sales from Koreans living across the Southland. It's been established. Outside of South Korea, outside of Europe, the most Koreans in the planet live in the United States. And in the United States, the majority of them live in LA or LA area. So it's a big move for the black and gold. Whether it gets them out of 6th place and kind of lifts them up into being a cup contender, I'm waiting for the proof first. Feel free to let me know what you think, of course, in the comments thread. Dave Roberts, meanwhile, admits he is wondering about changing the Dodger lineup. There are 2 reasons for it. One, the positive, the pending return of Max Muncy after a month off from a knee-adjacent bone bruise. Despite a lineup that has a lot of glitter, a lot of star power at the top, Roberts has actually gone on record and said Muncy is the guy who holds everything together. And that might have sounded absurd, but then you think about how the Dodgers have struggled in the last month. Is it really as simple as having Max Muncy, even a struggling Max Muncy, in that lineup? Now, the negative reason that there's going to be adjustments to the lineups is Mookie Betts. The former MVP has just been stinking up the joint all year. He has been batting second. They've experimented with him at leadoff. There's a really good chance that they're going to wind up tying an anchor to his ankle and just watch him fall. He's just going to have to fight his way through it. On the plus side, though, with the Dodgers, you have to give Ben Kasparius a lot of credit, because the dude has just been nails in every single role the Dodgers have asked of him this year. Spot starts, no problem. Long relief, no biggie, part of the rotation. He's been following after the so-called opener. In other words, if Shohei Ohtani got an inning, that was just a warm-up for Ben Kasparius to do the heavy lifting. Doesn't complain about a damn thing. And now, by the way, Kasparius has 2 saves. The Dodgers initially summoned Blake Trinan in the 9th inning of Sunday's game, but he allowed a hit, a pair of walks. So Kasparius, he's called in, bases are loaded. He retires Yandy Diaz for the final out. Now, both of Kasparius' saves have come in just the last 10 days. And as we've established, the Dodgers are missing 2 closers. Not just Tanner Scott. Kirby Yates is out as well. I'm not saying Kasparius is your closer. I'm just saying show the man some respect. Also, Alex Freeland and his triumphant mustache have gotten off to a pretty decent start since being summoned from the Midwest manure pit about a week ago. Freeland's hitting .308. He was summoned to replace Hae-Seong Kim in the lineup, who has shoulder bursitis. Roberts was understandably vague about Kim's return. Quote, sometime this month, unquote. And you're like, dude, sometime this month? You do realize it's only the 4th of the month, right? So a lot of Dodger stuff to talk about. NFL Network is reporting Matthew Stafford will start to maybe participate in practice. What he's going to be doing this week is work off to the side. Basically, he's going to throw a football around by himself, much like I did when I had no friends when I was a kid. That and some treadmill work. As we've been saying all along, the Rams have time for Stafford and his sore back in time for the season opener, September 7th. They just won't have a lot of practice time. Big difference. Over the offseason, we talked a lot about players that UCLA lost and added in the transfer portal. And yes, there was a lot of attention paid to quarterback Nico Iamaleava. But pause for a second. If you're a Bruins fan, Imagine placing Iamaleva's future into the incompetent hands of Eric Bieniemy. Now, when you've stopped screaming, take a moment and breathe. Because if you think about it, maybe the best addition to the UCLA football program this year is new offensive coordinator Tino Sunseri, who revolutionized Indiana's offense last year. I could argue that he's going to be every bit of an asset to UCLA that D'Anton Lynn was for USC's defense. Now, there's a good quote about what he's doing in training camp, and there is some coach speak in there, but hear me out. Quote, "When you're talking about what offense we are going to be able to bring, it's everything. We are going to be able to make sure that we are going to be able to stretch the field vertically and horizontally to be able to make sure that the defense guards every single blade of grass. But specifically to our system, you got to make sure that it's conducive to your players. So our system adjusts what our players can do. Our players don't have to adjust to our system," unquote. The latter part is what should make you take notice, because the coach is saying he's willing to put in extra work in order to make sure every player has a distinct role that caters to their strengths. So many coaches, they have a playbook, they look at players like widgets, and then it falls apart. You know, I'll just fit a rando into this role and it doesn't work. Elisa Peely has signed a 7-day contract with the Sparks. How much does she move the needle? Well, put it this way. She's from Alaska. I spent 3 months working in Alaska. I didn't see a single basketball hoop the entire time. For all I know, a moose, if he looks at a basketball hoop, would try to eat the damn thing. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me, for example. If you're an LAFC supporter, how excited are you about Sun coming to town? And for that matter, what would you do to adjust the Dodger lineup? And if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day, even in the strangest of spots. Thank you for watching. I'm James, and we'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.